Hey y'all, Ebony here, snarky black girl or baby, and welcome to my Ebb Talk. Anyways, so I wanted to go ahead and put this out there because last year, not even last year, but 2019, September 13th, 2019, I created a product line to cure generational curses infinite years backward and infinite years forward. Okay, so I followed my intuition, number one, and my intuition was like, oh, there's a full moon coming up here, and it's the last full moon of its kind for like the next, I don't even know, 1,000 years or something like that, which again was on September 13th, 2019. And so spirit said, or spirit, your intuition, my higher self, was just kind of like, well, this is something that you can use to help people to cure generational curses, infinite years backward and infinite years forward. But figure out what that means to you and how you can break those in your own life. And if you guys are not aware, September 13th of 2019 was on a Friday. So it was Friday the 13th. And so again, that day is typically reserved for bad luck. That's a day that's usually marked by just bad things happening. And so I said to myself, well, Friday the 13th, it has a bad rap, so let's go ahead and let's cure that first and foremost. Let's cure that idea that, just because I'm me on a certain day, that something bad is going to happen because it's just in the cards for me. Because at the end of the day, also coming from an intuitive perspective, like nothing is truly set in stone. Like you might think it is, and I might be able to like talk to you and read your cards or read your energy or whatever, and I can tell you every single thing that you could possibly do that would make this outcome this way. But I could also tell you some things, well, if you tweak your behavior like this, then you could the world is your oyster. Like, for example, like I've had certain times in my life where I had huge lessons, especially when it came down to work, career, luck, finances. It's come down to every avenue and every sector of my life. And had I not really applied my lesson once I learned them, because I mean, you can go broke, yeah, but if you don't learn the lesson as to why you went broke this first time, then you're going to continue to keep going broke. There's a difference between going broke and going for broke. There's been times when I was just, I wasn't very responsible with my money. There was times when I just didn't want to pay my light bill because I wanted some new shoes or something like that. And that was years ago, but I only need but one time to have my lights cut out in the summertime in Arizona to know that I'm about to pay my bill the next time and the next time and the next time. So there was that one generational curse that was broken, or there was that one idea around money that was broken. And so again, I capitalized on that going forward. And so creating this product line that I had, and I Reiki charged pink Himalayan sea salt, a bunch of essential oils. I did a bunch of really beautiful things to all these beautiful products in this idea, in this vein that, that magic is real. And it's not to say magic is not real, but magic starts in the mind. Reframe your thought process around what is possible, and then you will begin to walk into your true possibilities. Like you just can't live your life under the idea that life should go a certain way once again because whatever, I'm pretty, or because I'm black, my life should be this way, or because I'm whatever race, it should go this way. No, life is what you make it. It doesn't matter what nobody else has to say. If God is with you, and God is inside you, so God is always with you. But if God is with you and you are cognizant of that, then no man can be against you. No weapon formed against you can also prosper. And again, I almost said biological warfare, but generational warfare, generational curses, that is a weapon that's been formed against you by the enemy, no matter what your enemies were. Like you never know what happened 3 centuries ago in ancient fucking Tibet when you stole your boss's girlfriend, sister's brother, whatever you done did in a couple of different lifetimes, and someone said, okay bitch, like I don't want you to be prosperous anymore going forward in the rest of your life. Like you never know what this idea around this curse was from previous lifetimes. And to be honest, it don't matter. It doesn't matter why somebody has a certain idea about you that they don't want you to prosper. It doesn't matter. As long as you believe in yourself and you believe that your possibilities are endless, then it doesn't matter what the other person thinks. Even for me personally, going forward, there are more than one ways to skin a cat. Like, yeah, I got evicted this time. Yeah, I had all these really crazy things happening. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can't be evicted again if I buy a house, if I buy my own property, so I won't be evicted at that point. So you start to reframe your ideas and your mind around what's possible because you're doing something different this next time. So maybe this next time I won't get an apartment. Maybe this next time I will set up surveillance cameras or something like that. Like you just never know what you could use going forward in the next and the next time and the next time and the next time, if you will. So I just wanted to say that, like, you guys need to understand that, and not to say that you guys need to understand it, because again, you will eventually understand this anyway. Like, you know, I work in this field. This is what I do for a living. So I'm always exposed to the idea that that spirit is a constant reminder, or the universe is a constant reminder, or the karma is always at the forefront of my mind every single day. But if you don't work in this field, like maybe you're a call center rep like I was 4 years ago or 3 years ago at this point, and maybe that's not at the forefront of your mind, but just know that, I mean, that's maybe even a generational curse. Like, having to slave over somebody's desk work all day long is a generational curse. Just because your mom had to work in that way, or your dad worked in that way, or their dad's dad worked in that way, or just whatever it was, don't mean that you have to fall and fit into that mold. You know, again, African American people, African American women, and it's not just us, but this is my frame of reference because that's who I am. But we have a history of slavery in our lives. But now today, if you still punching somebody's clock and making them rich and putting their kids through college, and you over here struggling paying, you know, a paycheck to paycheck, or living paycheck to paycheck, then I hate to break it to you, but you are still a slave. And again, like, Kanye West got roasted, he got flamed, he got thrown into the fire pit for saying slavery is a choice. And, you know, maybe he chose the words incorrectly, or maybe he didn't realize he spoke before he was able to really articulate the thought in the right way. But slavery absolutely is a choice if you continue doing it right now. You know, again, like, so whatever. And I'm not gonna say, okay, well, go out there and just quit your job. And, well, I got fired on my birthday, so I didn't really quit, but you get it. Like, you know, I'm not saying like just go for broke in that aspect, because I know the ramifications of going broke and then having to not have anything, because, you know, being a slave is better than being homeless. But at the end of the day, like, it ain't for me. It's not for me. It's not for me. You can have my little left foot, Kunta, Toby, whatever. Like, I'm still gonna be Kunta at the end of the day, and I want my freedom more than I want stability. I know that sounds like something that people might not be able to wrap their mind around, but honestly, like, I would rather have my own freedom, because I can figure out how to be stable once again. I mean, I haven't lived at home in 15 years, but bitch, look at me living. Look at me living. Look at me living, and living well. I ain't washed the dishes in months. I ain't had to cook my own dinner in months. I haven't had to wash my own laundry, except when I go to my sister's house, in months. And there's that. So, you know, there's a blessing behind every lesson going forward. Okay, so maybe I don't have like a fancy car. Maybe I don't have my Infiniti G35 no more. Maybe I don't have my own bedroom to myself anymore, unless I send my daughter somewhere else. Maybe I don't have all of those luxuries that I've grown accustomed to, but there's a different way. And just because I don't have it now doesn't mean I won't have it going forward. There's been a lot of times in my life where I've manifested to have something come into my life, and yeah, I don't get it the next day, but you best believe maybe 2 years from now, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 days, I'm always going to get it, because I always believe that I will have it. I believe that it's for me. I wake up every day and I thank God for every single thing that I have coming forward in my life. You know, thank you so much, Lord, for my rich husband. Thank you so much, Lord, for my 17 bedroom house off the coast of Cape Verde, or whatever, wherever I'm going. Thank you so much for all these things that I deserve, because I put in the work to make my life better for myself. So, you know, and it's not to say that you guys are not putting the work in for yourself, but if you are at this point in time a slave, and you are, you know, punching someone's clock, then, you know, you can still buy back your freedom. You're just an indentured servant at this point. But figure out a way to put some money in the stock market. Figure out a way to put some money into your savings account, so that it can build up, so that one day when you look up, you're like, oh, well, shit, I got that money. I can start my own business. I can go on YouTube and start tickety talking for the kids, or just whatever it is. That way you can start to build your own esteem, build your own brand, because, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. American Express wasn't always American Express. They, you know, there was Wells Fargo. They was hitching horses and carriages and shit before they became what they are today. And they're a worldwide, they're a worldwide organization. They're one of the top 10 companies in the entire world. But again, they started out humble. They started out small. And I get the sense that people will say like, oh, well, that was... It don't matter when it was. You know, that they started their brand 100 years ago. The person that first started this is not even here anymore. They're dead now. But again, their children are going to be able to capitalize and profit off of all that hard work from before. So yeah, maybe you won't see the glory in being a billionaire or a trillionaire, but maybe your babies will. Maybe the next generation will have a better chance or a better shot at it, and that's how you break a generational curse. Infinite years backward and infinite years forward, because at the end of the day, everything that happened in my past to this point going forward doesn't even matter. Like, okay, I bring up sometimes I got evicted, but you think that matters? I mean, when I apply for an apartment, that matters, but even at the end of the day, that shit don't matter either. Like, everything that happened back then, it don't even matter. The world is my oyster, and I can make it whatever I want it to be based upon my idea about what I want in my own life. So start to reframe your mind around what's possible, and start to reframe your mind around what you deserve. I'm gonna tell y'all, I did an energetic makeover on myself. I'm selling these, so I'm not gonna give you guys the whole recipe, because you know, again, I'm building up my generational wealth. Y'all get it. But I will say though, like, positive affirmations. I looked at myself every day in the mirror, even when I was at my motherfucking brokest. And I told myself every day, bitch, you the baddest bitch that ever walked the face of this motherfucking earth. And you, my girl, deserves to have it all, and I'm going to get it. So start to tell that to yourself. I don't give a damn if you live in wherever you're going. Tell it to yourself one time. I love y'all. Peace and love. Follow me on my YouTube, and I'll check y'all later.